T-Man 978 Chill Review. Hello everyone! Right now we're reviewing ZETA KRONOS Flyfire. Flyfire is how you say firefly in third-party language. This is this part of the box, that part of the box, this part of the box, that part of the box, top of the box. I would show you the bottom of the box, but it has a code on there that only I need to see. In the box you get this credit card quality card right here with these stats on the back. Of course you get some confusing instructions. You get this foam insert coffin right here. 4 missiles with a missile clip. A G1 style simple gun that has no hole in the barrel. That is kinda weird and retro. Of course you get Flyfire here. And if you want him and his guns to join forces, you have to have the hand like this. It has that little peg in it right there. You put this right here, it pegs into a little slot that's on either side. Lift his thumb up, wrap it around, and then wrap the fingers around, which are on a knuckle right there. They have double knuckles, and each finger is independently posable. And while I might sound chipper, I'm going to be honest with you, first impressions, taking him out of the packaging, I was a little bit disappointed because his quality does not feel as good as Airstrike or their version of Air Raid. Like, the plastic quality is noticeably cheaper to me. If you heard otherwise, don't listen to that. My copy feels like Hasbro quality plastic, which compared to the other dude is unfortunate. Like, now I know these are economy figures. What these are supposed to be is masterpiece scale economy figures. So you're not breaking the bank. You can get something that represents something you remember, but you don't have to pay as much. So it's pretty much sort of like, I want to say, a slightly bigger old school ultra class. That was the class before you get to leader class back in the day. But they just added a little bit more functionality and a little bit more things like hands that are individually articulated. So I wouldn't say they are kind of better than current Hasbro figures, but I wouldn't put them on full-on masterpiece quality. One of the things that feels cheaper, like these skirts right here, definitely feels way more thin. All of this definitely just feel like current day. All this current day Hasbro plastic. This was not attached, and it has some like paint scuffs and stretch marks on areas. Like, let me see if I can even film it. Like, I don't know if you're going to be able to tell, but like there's a random stress marks there, and it's like, why is there a stress mark? The wings are pretty much on the same level as Airstrikes, but a lot of the other plastic feels lighter and thinner. It could just be me imagining things, but I don't think so. But overall, for what it is, like I just explained, is a decent figure, and it kind of looks like what you remember, but they didn't give him a G1 styled head, which is unfortunate. Like with these, you don't get a whole bunch of accessories like you would get nowadays with current day masterpiece. One thing I was excited about, because the other ZETA combiners I messed with, they didn't have any joints like this in the elbows. So I was like, ooh, double jointed elbows. But guess what? It still doesn't bend that much more than 90 degrees, no matter what you do. So yeah, I got excited for nothing. But let's get into the other articulation while we're on a roll here. So unlike a ball joint, so you can get tilts, roll, switch around, and you can look up about that much. Other things that are frustrating is this doesn't stay tabbed well. He has like, because of the transformation, it's like a swivel there, a hinge there, and another hinge. So it's like the arms, shoulders can go up and down. That's H figure arts type style. I showed this right here. It does swivel there. The wrist swivels, all the fingers open, and the thumb moves on that ball joint. It has a waist joint. Can move about that far before things are bumping and they have a ton of kibble. To combat that, you can actually take the wing off if you want to. Speaking of off, if I sound off, not only has my sinuses been acting up, but I got my wisdom tooth pulled out today. So my throat is a little bit messed up from post-nasal drip, and look at that. Yeah, I didn't even realize this was a thing. It's on the soft ratchet, but let's see. No, this one is good. The other one isn't. But move that out, and you can kick that far out. You can kick back into the kibble bumps. There's a thigh rotation. And it has the 90-degree knee bend, the toe bend, and it has this much pivot right there, which isn't a lot. And it doesn't have any type of real heel spur. You just have to use the jet parts. Okay, to get this out of the way, these two guys are the first two released, and they are complete different molds. I don't think there's anything the same. Maybe their fingers are the same, but even the backs of their palms look different. Like they both have pins in the same place, but the design is different. The way the arms function is different. Their heads are similar, but they have different faces, but that's even a different mold. So not one thing really is carried over to me from what I can see. The thighs are molded different. In fact, Aerialbot is slightly, it looks like he's slightly taller. I know his his calves are longer than his. And one guy turns into an arm, and the other guy turns into a leg. Now, I don't know if the other guy that turns into a leg is going to be a similar mold, and the other arm is going to be a similar mold, but they're different right there. So you can see this is how they compare to an official masterpiece. And this dude is pretty much the same height as Starscream, so yeah, the jets would all be the same height, basically. So for what you're paying for this thing, I guess I can say that it is worth what you're paying as far as the robot mode. But it does feel cheaper than Air Raid. Maybe Air Raid should have cost more or whatever. But anywho, let's get down to transformation. Take this gun out of the hand. Make sure that you open that and move the thumb. If you try to wiggle this, you'll pop that thumb right off. Basically, hold the thumb down and put the hands like that. Go ahead and open this panel right here. And definitely keep the hand, keep the hand like this with the fingers down. And that way you can clear that. If you don't do that, you can't clear anything. Hinge this into there and close that back up. Same thing on the other side. Now we can lift this up out of the way. Unclip this, which is tab. These two tabs go into the two corresponding tab holes. These can straighten out and come out here. And now we can flatten the arms onto here, and there is a peg that goes into the inside of the arm. The tab is right here. The tab hole is right there. Now here's something annoying for me. You have to, these are right here are designed to stop right there. That's what they're designed to do, stop there to keep filling a gap. Now, they want you to move this out the way, and they want you to push this down beyond that point. So you have to like force this plastic around this stuff inside of there and the shoulder joint right here and fold this up under there. No, I don't like that at all. I was watching a couple of reviews to see if that was accurate, because that's the instructions were confusing, and the people didn't complain about that. I'm like, that is a problem right there. Now there's this. You have to force this into here, and you got to clear this. No matter how you put it, you have to force this plastic around that plastic, and I don't like that. Maybe there should have been a second hinge or something that got this further out. So yes, that's a complaint to me. But make sure if this lifts up, make sure that that stays down like that. Now we can put this back down, bring the head back up, and turn the head around like that, because it doesn't hide away in his jet mode. Bringing it around to the back, and getting this to lock together, difficult. Detach that, and now we can kind of wiggle this up and forward, meanwhile getting this out of the way. So move this into this position and bring it down, and that clamps into place nice and easy. Now we need to just have that linger around while we get all this stuff together, which is pretty simple. There's a peg right there. We need to pull this apart. Take the foot and just basically curl it in. And here we can see how the ankle pivot works. It has like a little pinhole, but it's not attached to anything. That was weird to me. And it doesn't peg into anything either. And we need to accordion that into there. Bring this and get this back into that peg hole. This is a bit difficult. Actually, before we tab that together, we can tab this together. Now we need to bring this bar down, just like on Air Raid or Air Strike, if you can remember. Start bringing this together to get around the bar as best you can. You can go ahead and clamp this together, and now this should work itself into the grooves right here on both sides, and we can rotate these up into place. Get this little tab up the top into where that needs to be. Then we can groove this into the bar like that. That little tab in there, and groove this stuff under the bar. I don't know if I did that in the correct order, but you get the idea. Now the wings, they're on this hinge. They need to come up, tab into there, and that tab needs to go into the wing. Go up there, tab into the wing. Come on, you. You might have to grab under there and force that red tab into there. Straighten out the wing. Same stuff over here. And in order for this to attach to that in robot mode, you have to slide this tail fin back. Slide that forward. And then we can bring this here. And now we have Firefly in his jet mode. And the jet mode is mostly solid, except these wings don't stay clipped together in any type of way. So if you bump that, that's going to come apart. But it's a solid jet. Improvements: the landing gear is easy to get to without doing a whole bunch of craziness like you had to do with Air Raid. And you can do this, and it rolls well. It's not spring loaded, but there you are with that. Final thing for me to show you is the missiles attached to it. And here you are. You can put the missiles in the peg there I have them in, or there, or you can put the gun there, or you could swap places, but that's the final look with that. Here are both jets together, so you can see they are completely different jets, different sizes and everything, different wings, the whole shebang. I think this looks more like a cohesive jet than this does. This looks more like a block underneath of a jet. There you are with that. Here is the star screen comparison. Roughly about the same size. Limb mode. Should I do limb mode even though he doesn't come with a hand? Basically, detach the wings. Get them out the way. Detach this stuff right here. Kind of let that linger for now. Start unpegging this and getting this out of the groove right here. and start halfway transforming it back into a robot, basically. Bring that down like that. Now we can lift this up, unhinge that, and now these peg into two pegs that are right here. Come on. Make sure this arm clips back into the red thing. There we go with that. Now we can move this out of the way. We have to store the head inside of this cavity. Make sure you have everything folded out like this. Go ahead and, before we start messing around with that joint, push the head in like this so I can get clearance, and then go ahead and start pushing this through there like that. I hope you got that. Let's do that again. With everything oriented like this, fold the head down. As long as this red joint is as far as out as it can be, fold it in like this. The head should clear the combiner joint. Get everything like it's in robot mode except the head is there through there. Now shove at that with your thumb and get clearance right there. Now we can put our finger in there and pull this combiner joint out. Put that down. Fold this up like this. Start bending that red joint again, and now we should be able to get that stuff in there. Click that back together and bring that down. I know that probably didn't look clear. Put these up like that, and we sort of have to have that like this while spread this open if you didn't already. Slide this middle fin back, whatever that's called technically in jet terms. Put that like that and bring this over top of that. This will peg into place more than likely by itself, and then we need to shove this tail part of the jet up so those tabs will meet with each other. And basically you have the limb. These wings will probably most likely get in the way. You can optionally take them off, but to let you see, the elbow does bend. It has a piston right there. And I'm guessing the hand must click into there some type of way if you have that pegged right. So, yeah. I don't know if something extra is going to have to be done. This doesn't seem to peg together tightly, to be honest. But I can see everybody taking these stupid wings off because they just get in the way. Like, boom, you got that much bend right there. What the heck? It doesn't seem to want to go back. How does this work? I haven't messed with this really. Oh, that's how it works. So that looks like something else that's going to be annoying in combine mode, really. But you can also rotate the forearm. No, you can't. It has to be sideways because that stuff bumps. But that happens. Then when you want to move his arm back, hopefully it stays in the correct orientation. But he doesn't have 90 degrees, more than 90 degrees. So there you are with that. All in all, I don't feel like making this a robot again. For how much this costs, the engineering that it has in it is good. The plastic quality is slightly, very slightly above what Hasbro is putting out right now. And it doesn't have any type of current day masterpiece likeness to this at all. Maybe the jet mode looks good, but the robot mode does not look like a current day masterpiece where everything is more cartoon accurate, and definitely where everything is highly articulated now, with starting with Sunstreaker and MP36 Megatron. So there you go with that. You have to keep that in mind when you're buying this. But if you can get around that stuff, then this is definitely a good figure for the price you pay. If you like this video, let me know. Click the like button. Tell me in the comments. Until next time, T-Man978, out of here. What the man? Click the videos. Click the videos, baby. Click the videos. You should really click these videos. Click the videos. Click those videos, baby. Click the videos.